Hey guys, how's it going? This is Sam with the RG Review once again. Today I have a special treat for you guys, the CZ75 po7 9mm Luger. That's what it's chambered in. It's one of my favorite CZs out on the market at the moment. The way I look at this CZ is they're taking their old design, the 75, and they're updating it to a new tactical look and a new feel for the ergonomics on the grip, a new feature as far as decocking and switching between safety, and it's just like a revamp or like an update to the what the people are wanting nowadays, like Glocks and SIGs and stuff like that. They're wanting rails, they're wanting polymer frames, lightness, they're wanting a small pistol with a high capacity magazine, and CZ looks like it's aiming at that with the SPO1 Phantom and or the CZ75 Phantom, yeah, the SPO1, the compact 75, and this po7. The compact 75 that we just picked up has a Crimson Trace laser on it that came with it, so that's why I say that about the compact. They also have ones that don't come with that are just, you know, plain Jane. But let's get down to the CZ75 po7 duty. The cost on this, it's reasonable, but it's out of the range of people looking to buy guns on a budget. It MSRP's for $487. I believe we picked ours up $460 on a military base, tax free. So we actually got a pretty good deal on it. The weight's 1.7 pounds. Overall length is 7.3 inches. The barrel is your 3.8 inch barrel. Height of it, 5.1 inches, while width is coming in at 1.5 inches. So it's still reasonable for a concealed carry, say something like in the waistband, or it's not something you're going to be able to stick in your pocket like a P3AT or the LCP or whatever. With the other brands are making knockoffs of the P3AT. You know, you're not going to be able to shove it in your pocket like that, of course. It is called duty for a reason. It's a reasonable size between full size and compact. It rocks a polymer frame. You know, it's got the cold hammer forged barrel. It does have a new upgraded trigger, which I think is completely awesome. Way to go, CZ. Way to listen to your consumers and step it up. They're running an Omega trigger, which is basically what that does is reducing the moving parts and actual mechanics of the trigger, giving it a smoother trigger pull. It's not as stagey, and it's just you're not expecting how good the pull is compared to other CZs. That's always a downside that I've had with CZs, is the trigger pull, and this is working on it, which is great. Comes with a safety and a decocker. You have the option to switch them out, which is also a plus. You know, safety for those who, you know, want to carry it loaded and want to have it on safe, or you have small children in your house, but it's your desk gun, you know, which is accessible, but you want it ready. You could always have it on safe. A lot of that has to do with education of your children too. You need to let them know at 6, 7, 8 years old that this is not for children. This can hurt somebody, and with a reasonable amount of time and education, this will one day, you'll be able to shoot this and whatnot. That's the way I take the approach to showing children how to shoot. As far as the breakdown goes, it's pretty easy. Putting it back together has been a challenge for me. This weapon has been safety checked several times before I did this. You know, the whole treat every gun as its loaded thing. I do this, you know, I keep most of my guns in a safe manner, and if I weren't going to safety check them, people would give me crap on here, so I just do that to indulge the viewers. People might give me crap about this, but to break it down, I am going to take out the mag retaining clip, the slide catch, what you want to call it, or not the mag, the slide retaining clip, my bad, the slide catch. You know, I use different terminology just from the people I'm around. I actually use my magazine to press down on this little button just because it's easier for me. All you got to do is pull that out. Oh goodness, this is a new pistol, so it's kind of tight on a few things. Press that down a little more. You got it. And when you also break this down, you have to line up these two lines. I don't think you can see the one on the slide too well right now. It's, the light in here is a little bad. It's a little later in the evening. But you line up these two lines right here at the back of the gun. Flip it over, keeping these lines lined up. What I do is I put my finger through the trigger here and press on it with my palm. And I flip it over on its side. I take my magazine, I press that button in, flip it back over while it's still lined up, pull it out. It's that easy. You don't have to pull the trigger for this to come off, which is pretty cool. I know the XDMs are like that now. Here's your internals. Nothing out of the ordinary or just crazy. Let's see. Alright, this is the part that I have a hard time breaking this down on. Taking out the guide rod and the spring is the easy part, but getting it back in is not so easy, because you have to compress the spring while fitting this guide rod, fitting the end of this guide rod right here up into this hole, which, as some springs and guide rods are all like, they'll have the post, or they'll have another guide rod in right here, which will slide in there first, and then you can just kind of press it in like the XD. Where this is a little more flimsy, and you have to kind of work it to get it in there pretty well. Oh, my lighting's getting kind of bad. Let me fix that. Sorry about that, guys. This is the first time I'm using this camera in my house. This is Anthony's camera that he is very nicely letting me use. Each one of these CZs, pretty much the same workings on the inside. Just take that apart, except for the Omega trigger and the way the decocker comes off, which I will show you right now. I'm not going to take it all the way off, just because it kind of is a pain in the butt. And if anybody tells you that it's very simple to switch, yeah, the idea of switching this is very simple, but they don't take into account this pain in the butt little spring that's... Let me zoom in. How about that? That's probably easier. They don't take in account this pain in the butt little spring that fits into a tiny pin-like hole, that if it's not in there correctly, it's not going to work. They don't tell you about that. You have to figure that out on your own by looking at the design in the manual. But thankfully, there's dudes like me that will forewarn and educate. Okay, I'll show you exactly how this works, but without taking it apart. I'm sorry, this is a little weird. Alright, basically, here's your decocker. Show you in action. This actually uses the safety stop on hammer style. It doesn't tilt up like your Berettas and your Stoger. It doesn't have the tilting firing pin. When you can see, it just stops before it gets to the firing pin, and then rests slightly in front of the firing pin. It never really touches it as it decocks. But the decocker here can easily be switched out, as they say, as CZ says, by pressing down right here. You press down on this little lever, and then you wiggle this part. You wiggle the decocker from the left side until it comes off, and when it comes off, this part will slide out completely, and then this little spring right here will hopefully stay in its little hole, and then you pull this side off. You will have a safety in the box, which I will show you right now. You will have a safety in this fancy CZ box that has never really changed design throughout time. Here's the safety. You can see it is a different shape, and these will only fit with each other. You won't get the decocker side mixed up with the safety side. It just won't work that way, which is a plus. But when you pull this all the way apart, you have to, when you switch to the safety instead of the decocker, you actually have to flip this spring around to where this little pin right there is pointing forward, because what that pin does is when you pull back on the hammer and you hit the decocker, that little pin there actually creates spring tension, bringing your decocker back up so you don't have to move it manually with your finger. The safety, though, when you switch it around, takes the tension off of that little spring and lets it more be a switch instead of a automatic returning decocker. It's a switch that you have to flip with your hand, and it does have a red dot for the safety as well. There is also an issue that with the decocker that I'll show you while I put it back together, and hopefully this will go back together smoothly, other than the last time I tried to do it, which is a pain in the butt. Okay, let's do this. Crossing our fingers here, even though not literally, you guys would be able to tell. Alright, insert guide rod and spring. Oh, please work, just work for me. I've already been cut once, so I got blood on my new gun. I'm not really happy. While I'm doing this, I will tell you about my shooting experience with this, and I actually have some videos coming up. Me and Anthony took it out at the range. You see, this is the pain in the butt part. I put between 300 and 400 rounds through this already. You know, for a break-in period, it's doing awesome. Oh, and look at that. What a sign of joy. It went in on the first time. High fives for everyone. Sorry, it's a little celebration because of the pain that it took me. It's also another reason why you should definitely train with decocking, or not decocking, but disassemble, and know your weapon, know how to put it back together quickly just in case there is any problems. But what I was saying is, I put 300-400 rounds through this, not one problem in a break-in period. That is awesome. I love it. Good job, CZ. Now on here, the grip is textured like the new Glock grips on the Gen 4s. Has a textured grip tape feeling to it. It's not too strong to where it tears up your hands. Horizontal ribbing on the grip here to, you know, secure in your palm, and then it has a it has an index finger little groove here like grips, vertical grips with the same grip type feeling. A weird issue that I had with this as soon as we got it was the slide felt really like it was catching, or the slide felt like it was catching on the frame, which I was kind of skeptical about it at first, but once we ran some rounds through it, it smoothed up quite a bit. Not a problem anymore, which I'm going to say that it's a break-in factor with the gun. Now, instead of using the 3-dot sights like most CZs use, this uses like a Glock, more like a Glock sight, which I enjoy just because it's easier for me to line up using this sight than it is a 3-dot sight, and it's just a more comfortable pistol for me. I'm not knocking the CZ75. Obviously, you guys know that I love that weapon if you've seen my review on it, and the 82s. Pretty much everything CZ except for the 52. Another awesome thing about this pistol is 16-round mags in a concealable pistol of 9mm Luger. Now, if you say 9mm Luger doesn't have enough stopping power, that's your deal. You know what? It's all about bullet placement and training. And if you're worried about stopping power in a 9mm, get some plus P hollow points. I'm pretty sure that will stop someone if you hit him in the chest 3 times. I'm not sure though. I haven't been shot 3 times in the chest with hollow points, so I can't say for sure. So, but that's just some common sense, I think. It does have an integrated rail on it, lights, you know, you can put a light, a laser, whatever. I'm more of a bare bones kind of guy. We got the 75 compact with the crimson trace on there, just, you know, it's cool. We're at the point in our firearms collecting that if my dad thinks something's cool and interesting, he's going to buy it just because we have more than enough for self-defense. And it's past a practical purpose to an interest purpose. And if you guys reach that in your journey with firearms, more power to you. Heck yeah. Keep buying the stuff you think it's cool, because it only matters to you. You know, that's the only person you should be buying guns for is yourself. And whether you think they're cool or not, no one should tell you that a CZ is cool or that a Glock's better than a CZ because it's their opinion. You know, there's not too much else to say. These sights are fixed, but I believe you can adjust this one left and right with a tool, probably an Allen wrench. Yeah, it looks like an Allen wrench, and then you just hit it left and right with a hammer and punch, which I hate to do with my sights. You know, I feel like I'm beating my gun, and I'm not. It's not really nice. It's not ambidextrous, which is a downside to some of you guys, but you know, it works for me. I'm right-handed, and I don't have any left-handed people in my house, so it's not a problem. Well, guys, I think this review pretty much did my po7 justice. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them on my page. Make sure they're constructive and not hateful. You know, if you don't have anything good to say, then don't say it at all. I'm gonna use that. But you guys have a great night. Keep your shooting safe, and you guys take care. Enjoy this nice spring weather. Bye, guys.